So bros, here we go, another gaming video on the PewDiePie's channel. This video is all about Nuxia this time. I'm not planning on doing an in-depth tutorial on Tiandi and Shaolin, only on Nuxia and Jiangxin because those are the ones that I main. So right now on the screen you can see all the timestamps for each individual part, and also in the description, so you can skip to whatever part you want to watch of the Nuxia guide. Alright, so let's start with her chains. So she can do either a light or a heavy 3 times in a chain. And the damages are 13, 13, 11, 30, 35, and 40. Didn't choke us, bitch died. So 13, 13, 11 for the lights, and then 30, 35, 40 on the heavies. And you saw right there, her heavy finishers actually have a special property that is new to the game, which is they actually throw the opponent. Now, this counts as a normal throw. As you can see, it can wall splat, guaranteeing you a heavy, and if the enemy is out of stamina or you're in revenge, it will actually make them unbalanced, which is very nice, because that heavy deals 40 damage and it guarantees you a max punish. Oh boy. So, her throw distance is the same as the throw distance from these heavies. So if you don't throw the tight finisher from the left, you throw them to the right. If you do the heavy from the right, you throw them to the left. If you throw the heavy finisher from the top, you will throw them backwards. And the back throw actually throws the enemy with her butt. Very nice. So as you see right there, her throw deals 20 stamina damage to the opponent. So what I like to do is, if I'm close to a wall, the enemy is almost out of stamina, is throw them into the wall, so they actually go out of stamina. Not all heroes have this special property, but she's one of those. If he only has that much of stamina left, then you want to throw them so they actually go out of stamina. If they are full stamina or pretty much full stamina, it does not matter because they recover that stamina back after you throw them, so it really isn't that big of a deal. So if you want to keep cornering your opponent or keep spacing the opponent into a specific area, you want to use her throw, because her throw is, in my opinion, the best throw in the game after Warlord's throw, because it's Warlord. So her throw is amazing. Like the range on it is amazing, and also the stamina damage, and just look at that, he just throws them so far away, and it's also so quick. A lot of throws are insanely long, but her throws are actually really quick. So I really like to throw enemies with her, because it guarantees you my heavy, I keep my spacing, and I get my heavy if they wall splat. But if there's no wall, might as well just throw the heavy off a guard break. Moving on to her special property in the kit, which is the trap, and I chose the wrong hero to do this with. First, I actually have to explain parry windows. So the parry window is the parry time right after you can feint. So I can feint until here. Right after that is my heavy parry window. So that's when my opponent can actually parry my attack. So if the enemy attacks any time before this, they will not get the parry, and if they try to parry afterwards, well, they'll miss the parry and actually get hit by my attack. This is how the trap works. So if the enemy tries to parry me before the heavy parry window, like he does the heavy before that, they will not get trapped. If you're blocking the direction of the trap, she will trap you. If you try to parry on the heavy parry window, so if I throw a heavy and you try to parry it, but instead I did a trap, they will also get damaged by it. So if they attack before the heavy parry window, they will not get trapped. And if they attack afterwards, that doesn't work, because they were blocking during the heavy parry window, so they will get trapped. So if you are spamming lights and all of a sudden you just decide, hey, let me throw a trap, most likely the enemy will think you're doing another light, and so they'll try to parry you during your light parry window, which is a lot sooner than the heavy parry window, which will make them attack before the trap goes off. And that's why a lot of people, that's how most people misuse her traps. That's why people were so bad with her doing the test. I wasn't really bad because I knew about that parry window. So if you just throw lights, you don't want to throw the trap, because people will just think you're doing another light. And even if they don't think you're doing a light, even if they think you're doing the trap, they'll try to parry you beforehand, because, well, if they try to parry you beforehand and you throw a light, hey, they'll get a parry, they get a light parry. And if they don't actually get the parry soon enough, well, they'll just hit you through your trap. So keep that in mind. What I suggest you to do, I actually have a clip right now to show you. is to keep throwing lights and then keep throwing heavies, and when you slow down the fight when throwing the heavies, actually throw the traps. You want to slow down the fight. If you're constantly very aggressive, very light spammy, the opponent will take that into consideration and, well, you know, try to parry soon, and you know they'll ignore your trap. But if you slow down the fight, if you throw your zone here and there as well, you will not get memed with your traps. You'll actually be pretty successful with them. She can actually do a zone during chains, just like Raider. This is very good for keeping your opponent guessing, because her zone is 1 second long. It's a very long attack, and all her heavies are 800 milliseconds, I think. So throwing the zone here and there will mess out the opponent's timing. Now the animation is extremely blatant, so what you want to do is use the trap. The trap on the zone actually deals 45 damage and disables the opponent for a while. It can be interrupted before you actually hit it. Afterwards, you know, the opponent is getting up, so they will take damage. And they also cannot activate Revenge at any point during the animation, just like on Shaman's Bite. So this is a very good ganking tool. Just be sure that your teammates do not screw you up, because if the opponent gets hit during this whole animation before you stab him, he will get interrupted, they will not get damaged, which is extremely annoying if you're the Nuxia. Now you can also feint the zone, which I also suggest you do. Remember that you can feint with her. You don't need to just do the trap or spam lights or throw heavies. You can also feint. So continuing with the traps, if you successfully hit, you can keep your chain as if that was the opener. So the trap works as a chain opener. If you are successful with it, or if you miss it, you can still do either a light or a heavy, and then a light or a heavy. So this, and then you can do light, light. You can also just do heavy, light. That's how it works. Same thing for the zone. I mean, he's blocking that way, but if I missed it, if I missed the zone trap, I could still chain through it. Remember that if your opponent gets hit before you hit the trap, like before you stab them with the trap, you will not deal any damage to them, but they take full damage. So this is also a very good tool for ganking. If you have a teammate, like for example a Shugoki or a Raider, and they're doing their max damage attack, so for Raider the charged zone attack, and for Shugoki she's charged heavy, or if you're playing with a Centurion and he does the full charged heavy, if you have your opponent trapped and they hit him before you actually stab them, they will get hit full damage. So this is a very good move for ganking. If the opponent is in this stage, before I stab him, the opponent takes full damage from outside. It's pretty much the same as a guard break. If I guard break him, any attack going in takes full damage. So you want to use the trap. For example, if your opponent is almost dead, he's only one heavy away, and your teammate is almost dead, you can use the trap, trap the opponent, and your teammate can do a heavy to get the execution. Remember that this is an amazing ganking tool. It's not just for opening up people, and for 1v1 it's very good for ganking. Now after you actually hit the trap, the opponent gets a small damage reduction, but they still take a very good amount of damage. Alright, moving on to the parries. So if you parry a heavy, you get a light, or you get this special light. Now here's the big problem with this special light. If you move your guard in any way, or if you have an external block going on, this light will not happen. Also, if you're locked onto someone else and you parry someone, you will not do the special light to them or to the person that you're locked onto unless you delay. There's a new bug right now. If you delay after a parry, those guaranteed parry punishes now actually go. It's a whole different story. But this light only comes if you do not move your guard, which is extremely annoying, because if you're fighting between minions, a lot of the times you'll just throw a normal light, which deals less damage and actually ruins your max punish, which I'll talk to you about in a bit. If you parry a light, you get a heavy guaranteed for 30 damage. Now let's go to her heavy. Now let's go to her deflect. So as you can see right there, the deflect is blockable. So stupid. And it comes from the top if you do not change the guard, but you can actually aim it if I'm successful. So if you don't move your guard, you'll attack from the top for 40 damage. So you can aim it to the left. You can aim it to the right. you can aim it to the top. You see over here, you see where I'm attacking from. So you can aim it, but if you do not aim it, it always goes from the top. So this is good for mixing up your deflect, but it's bad because it makes your deflect not guaranteed, which is very stupid. So I'd like the devs to make it like 37 damage or 38 or 35, whatever, that degree, but make it unblockable. Making it blockable is really stupid. It's already hard enough to get deflects in this game, at least from side attacks. From top attacks it's really easy to get deflect, but from side attacks, and you can't forget about hyper armor. If you deflect an attack and the guy has hyper armor, dude, you'll just get memed through the deflect. So really it's a stupid thing that they're gonna do, but you can aim it. So right there, attack from the top, attack from the left. So it's, you can actually get guaranteed in some situations. It comes down to the matchup. If you're fighting against a lawbringer or a warden, where they most of the time have the guard on the top, you want to deflect and attack from the sides so they actually don't block it. Okay, moving on to max punishes on out of stamina opponents or when you're in revenge. So I'm putting myself in revenge. This works as if the opponent is out of stamina as well. So if I throw an opponent and they're close to a wall, I get a light, a heavy, and a light. All of that was guaranteed. So if I try to do a heavy, they'll actually get up, and I only get a heavy and a light. See, now I can actually get it. It's very specific. Like if it's like a diagonal and you throw them sideways, it doesn't work. Try to throw them directly into the wall. If you throw them forwards into the wall, if they go like that, you actually only get the normal punish. So try to throw them directly into the wall. That's how you get light, heavy, light. If there is no wall, however, as you saw right there, you get a light miss into a heavy light. So you miss the light, then you get a heavy light. Now, if you parry, you get the special light, a heavy, and a light. So, special light, heavy, light. If you try to do a normal light, it only works if the opponent is next to a wall. Let me throw him over here. So, if he's not next to a wall, I'll actually miss this light. But if I do the special light, I actually get the whole punish. But if I do the normal light, I don't get it. So remember that if he's close to a wall, you actually get a normal light if you manage to miss it. So he's directly behind it. I actually get a normal light. So always do light, heavy, light in every single one of her punishes. Sometimes you might get the whole thing, sometimes you don't. But in the parry situation, if you manage to get that special light, you get the heavy light guaranteed afterwards. Alright, I still haven't talked about her dodge lights. So she has dodge lights that start as chain openers. Because they're lights, if they're blocked, you know, you stop your attack. The best one is the dashing forward light. It deals 3 more damage than the others, and it has an amazing tracking. Also, same thing for the running attack. It's also a top light, so be careful. Don't just throw them out there because people are gonna get their max punish from it. Don't throw them from neutral, of course. They're easy parries. Now for her feats, I actually forgot to talk about that on the Jiang Jun video. Oh well, I had already mentioned his feats in the previous video. So for the first feat, Deadly Duet only makes you deal like 3 more damage, and it only works on close quarter situations with only 1 player around. So it's good, but it's nowhere near as good as Bounty Hunter. That is the best feat in the game for the first feat. Seriously, this feat is amazing. You get full stamina, 25 health when you kill someone. It's amazing. In Breach, if you kill an officer, you also get full stamina and 25 health. Dog, this feat, amazing. Always have this one on. And she also has Rush. Who cares? For her second feat, Caltrops is an amazing feat. Not for team fights, but instead for finishing off opponents. Like if you're getting ganked, you want to use this one because you don't take damage from it. Your teammates do, so keep that in mind. But this one is very good. If the opponent is like 2 health, you can just throw it and they die instantly. But the best use you can get out of it is clearing minions. In the minion and in skirmish, minions die from 1 hit to this. So you want to put that on the minion lane. Remember that this deals team damage, so it actually kills your friendly minions. Keep that in mind. It might be used for your advantage, for example in Endless March, because well, you're making so that your enemy cannot kill your minions because you're killing them yourself. But in Breach, it's also very good. It takes around half of their health if you're not, you know, fighting the minions in the caltrops. So it's a very good feat for clearing minions, and also if you're getting ganked, because the opponent are always getting damaged. Going on to her third feat. So, Thread of Fate, if you use it on an opponent, they will be briefly, and I mean briefly, unable to roll and to run. I don't know why it says can't run and sprint. I mean, isn't that the same thing? Whatever. If you can't run, you can't sprint. Whatever. So, it's good, but it's nowhere near as good as Slip Through. This one is amazing. It makes your Deflect deal 56 damage, and if you want to use Deadly Duet, it makes you deal amazing damage. Really, Slip Through, amazing. A great feat. You can also use this for your max punishes. So if you throw an opponent out of stamina, you can dodge, you get the Slip Through damage buff, and if you're heavy into light. I don't know if it's actually better than just doing light, heavy, light. But, you know, there's also an option. She also has takedown. This could be useful if you are throwing those side heavy finishers, because they act as throws, remember that, and they guarantee you your max parry punishes if you're successful with them. So this could be good, but it's nowhere near as good as Slip Through. So, no, I'm not using takedown. For her 4 feet, they're all pretty shit. I'll be honest with you, they're all pretty shit. Infection, deal damage increasing over time to the enemy and their nearby allies, only if their allies are nearby. This one is really good for the last stage in Breach, because you know, usually the defending team is all around the commander, and usually the attacking team is all around the commander as well. So if you're attacking, you put that on the commander, it deals deal damage to him, and it forces the enemy to not get close to him or also get damaged. And, you know, they will do more damage to the commander. Now, the duration on this feat is insanely short, but the cooldown is somewhat small. I think it's 2 minutes, so it's somewhat good on that department, but the damage is not too big. But if you compare it to her other feats, Regenerate, absolutely shit. The Regenerate is too slow. It starts too slow. You can only walk during it. You cannot sprint. And it takes too long for you to actually start regenerating health, and when you do, it takes so long to regenerate health. Not that great, you know. If you're playing skirmish or elimination or breach, this could be kind of good, but I don't feel like that is that useful in comparison to infection. And she also has Berserker. This one could be good if the duration on it was, you know, actually decent. The duration on it is like 15 seconds or 20. It's really short. You barely get any effect on it. So really, Infection is her best 4 feat in my opinion. Moving on to her perks. So you want to use Galestorm, Devourer, and Headhunter, because Endurance and Survival Instinct are a very small change to stamina cost. So Endurance, you need to have all your feats unlocked to actually get a somewhat decent stamina cost reduction, but it's still only 12%, so not useful. Survival Instinct, it only activates when in critical health, which means you need to be 25 health or less. So yeah, that's barely any health at this point. And it's only a 15% stamina cost reduction. Terrible. Early Reaper and Crush Them, it's only a 20% damage increase to 1 attack, and her damage output isn't that amazing on her opener. So really, it's not useful at all. So definitely go Devourer, Galestorm, and Headhunter. So as I did with Jiangjun, I'm doing a duel to show off all these tips somewhat. The problem is I'm lagging and getting errors, so I have a lot of other duels that I can show off with footage. So if this one doesn't go well, I'll put one of those. Casual Yeeter 69, Jesus Christ. That's the best name I've seen so far. Jesus Christ, that lagged. Oh, okay. I don't know why I just blocked, but I blocked something. Jesus. Oh, this is the worst. This is something I like to do a lot. Do a heavy from the left with a trap, and then do a zone into trap. That usually gets people. There we go. I don't know what if she's attacking or not. This is weird. Is she moving here? Alright, I'll move there. Don't worry about it. Alright, I don't know why I didn't deflect that. Oh, that was instantaneous. Jesus Christ. I mean, what can I say, right? She took all my health instantly. I couldn't react to anything. Lag is not on my side. Oh, where the hell was that? Why is he walking? Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Jesus. Okay. Jesus Christ. Stop spamming guard break. They're super quick when I'm lagging. Oofity, oofity. Okay, let me recover my stamina. Oh, that didn't deflect. Shoot. Yeah, there we go. Feint into a trap. That usually works. It keeps the opponent guessing. This is what I really like about Nuxia. Please just stop playing like a... I don't know what that means. Dude, please stop teleporting. I'm using my K, I don't understand your point. Oh, gee. I'm not light spamming, like, why are you saying that I'm a faggot? Oh my god. If I was light spamming, I'd understand, hey, stop playing like a whatever he said. But I'm not light spamming, I'm actually using my kit. Oh, what the hell was that tracking? They really buffed tracking on attacks. Oh, fuck. What? What the hell is that, mate? Yeah, I'm sorry guys, couldn't win that. Too much lag. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think I showed you all the tricks there. So try to feint and do the trap in the same side all the time. If you successfully hit a trap, try to do zone into the trap again. That usually gets people as well. If you're playing against assassin, you might want to do light spam. I don't usually light spam, but you know, if I'm playing against an assassin, that's actually a very useful tactic. Just don't do it too much, because then you'll just get parried. So that's it for Nuxia. I hope you enjoyed the video. If there's any mistakes I made, well, be sure to tell me in the comments below. If there's anything in particular that you want me to talk about, tell me in the comments below. I'm still thinking about doing the whole perk video or not. I have 2 videos on it. I recorded it once. I didn't really like it. I recorded it again. But now now we're so far into the season, I don't feel like it's necessary, but if you want me to, I can still edit it. I'm planning on uploading a Jiangjun and Nuxia duels video soon. I just want to get the guides out beforehand, so I hope you enjoyed the video. See you on the next one, guys.